What's up, guys? So, credit to Commune Continho on Reddit for translating this interview. But basically, we actually have some new information for the Danganronpa 2x2 game. Um, in regards to a Famitsu interview. Famitsu is always coming in on clutch for Kodaku games. They've done interviews for all the other Danganronpa games for Raincode, and yeah, we basically just learned quite a bit of the development process, and some little tidbits that are definitely worthy of discussion for where the franchise is going with this game. I'm just happy it's not dead. It's been dead for so long. Anyways, so first, considering this announcement as Danganronpa's 15th anniversary, what was the intention behind making this new title and a remake on the foundations of Danganronpa 2 instead of the first one? And basically, they state that they were going to do a Danganronpa 1 remake, but they didn't want to change the core background of the franchise. They felt as though Danganronpa 2 would be easier to remake without messing up stuff. So basically, they're fine with doing a rewrite of 2 because there's not a lot after it that they have to ride on and depend on, but like Danganronpa 1 kind of shapes the whole series. So if you rewrite that, you're changing the entire series, and they clearly don't want to do that. And it's for that reason that I think this game definitely has something to do with a canon of some sort. So either it's a new branching canon after Danganronpa 1, like they want to start off a new canon so they can develop new games in, or it's connected to the old canon. It's not just going to be a little one-off thing, because I feel like if it was just a little one-off story, they could have easily done that with Danganronpa 1 and just said, hey, guys, this is a just little non-canon story that we're doing for the 15th anniversary. They did S, which was completely non-canon for the 10th anniversary, so they're clearly fine with doing non-canon stuff. So I don't see why they couldn't have just did a non-canon 1 remake if they really wanted to. And if they wanted to include it in canon in some way, just because, Danganronpa 2 has the ability to do that because of the whole simulation thing, I feel like they would have been more upfront about that. Like, they could have just said, hey, this is a little bonus thing, like a story that happened before the real Danganronpa 2 in the simulation. And also some other reasons for why I don't think they're doing that is because, for one, there's the boat in the new CG, and I feel like if they were just doing a route that was before Danganronpa 2, like canonically in the timeline, or even after, just like a random thing in the simulation, why would they include the boat? Like, what's the point of including the boat there? They clearly have bigger lore implications for the boat and what they want to do with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the boat wasn't in the original game. Who says they have to include new things? They could have just kept the cast of characters, done a different death order, leave it at that. And also, they explicitly state that there's an entirely new scenario. They're saying entirely new, and we'll get more into that. But I feel like if it was entirely new, if it was just going to be the same ending again, like, oh yeah, let's escape Junko, and even if it's an ending where they choose to repeat the simulation and that leads into Danganronpa 2, it's still basically the same scenario. And I wouldn't see the point in even doing that. Like, that just, it doesn't make sense to me. It's not very exciting, and they could have been more upfront about that. But I'll get more into that as we go. Next, is the new scenario going to be the original Danganronpa 2 with a few twists, or is everything going to be changed? And basically, yes, everything is going to be changed. Basically, we have the start of the prologue, that's the exact same, but then from there, everything goes batshit crazy, and yeah, that's another reason why I don't think it's just gonna be something else in the simulation. Like, there's gonna be too much changed. And yeah, everything else is canon before 2. And interestingly, when asked if this game is gonna lead into Danganronpa 3, they just say you'll have to play the game for yourself. Now, I feel like if it was just gonna be something leading into Danganronpa 3, they could have just said, hey, that this is a alternate take on how the survivors got out of the Neo World program, and we're back in reality for Danganronpa 3, because anything can really happen since all the characters are alive, minus Chiaki. And so they could have just said that, and they wouldn't have taken away sales, because, for one, new fans are going to buy the game regardless, because they haven't played the original, and two, any hardcore Danganronpa fan that wants to buy this game is going to buy it for the new murders and investigations alone. Like, even though I really want there to be more to this game, just seeing new murders and investigations and shit, that's already a day one buy for me. And I'm sure that's how it is for the majority of others. So I feel like they're not really holding back sales if they were to just say, hey, this will lead into Danganronpa 3, but they're purposely being cagey about it. The next thing is just asking if some of the new mini games are going to be added in. We'll get an announcement for that later. They got all the Japanese voice actors back, but no news on the dub voice actors. I'd assume Nagito's is back if they used him in the trailer. I'm pretty sure that's the only voice actor we heard, and Monokuma, but that's about it. And everything else about the remake isn't that interesting. It's basically stuff that we already know. And yeah, the length of the new scenario is the same or longer as the original. Why would it be longer? I don't know. But, I mean, that's good. It's basically an entire game. So Kodaka is actually not only the supervisor. He did come up with some ideas and some of the murder tricks. So I feel like if Kodaka is more involved than we were led to believe, this can't just be like a random game. Like with Danganronpa S, Kodaka was not involved at all. There was no insight from him. Obviously not, because Danganronpa S is just, there's nothing to it. Anyone could write that game. But I feel like if they're bothering to get Kodaka here, like there has to be something more. And then there's going to be a playtest at the 15th anniversary event in November. And the pronunciation is 2x2. Just, I don't know. I guess they don't want to say 2 times 2 because it's just 4. I don't know. And then, interestingly, for the final message, they say, "Thank you for your patience. We can finally deliver you a new Danganronpa. The game is a remake/reboot, but with a brand new story. I hope you look forward to the release. You'll soon find out what the future has in store for Hinata, Komeda, and the Danganronpa series." So some things to break down here. The fact that he mentions Hajime and Nagito and not anybody else is kind of interesting. like why them specifically? I don't know. And then 2, people are saying that this is pointing to the game being a like reboot for the continuity, but I don't think the reboot phrasing is necessarily that. I think by reboot they just mean like, hey, it's a new take on the scenario. I don't think that's what we have to take in for the reboot. I think everything else that I mentioned at the beginning with making sure to stay with the rest of the canon points to a new timeline. Or if it's not even a new timeline, just something continuing from Danganronpa 3. Like, I just think that there's definitely something more to this game, especially with the boat. I think the boat is by far the biggest piece of evidence. And they clearly want to have a new direction for the franchise with this game. Cause like, why would they not remake Danganronpa 1 if lore wasn't their concern? Like, it's just, I don't know. It doesn't really make much sense. Like, if they just wanted to make a standalone Danganronpa 2 game in the Neo World program with like different deaths and stuff. They could have done that with Danganronpa 1 because they're both effectively non-canon. Like, yeah, technically with the Neo World program, you could choose either the old or new scenario, and everything would be the same. But still, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter that much. Like, I don't see the point of going as far as to create this game, only to create another potential scenario for no reason, and then being cagey about Danganronpa 3 connections on top of that. Like, I feel like there's just way more evidence for this being something else. Also, just one more piece of evidence that I want to mention. Back in 2023, Kodaka hinted at this game. For the 11th anniversary of Danganronpa 2, he was basically like, hey, maybe if enough fans rally together, we can get Danganronpa 2 2. So this points to the game being a sequel, if Kodaka went as far as to say that, I'd say. And the game was definitely in development at that point, if he tweeted it then. And that was only like 2 years ago. And the game had to have been in development for 2 years if it's coming out next year. So, yeah, I think the chances are pretty high for this being something bigger than they're teasing here. And regardless, even if it's not, even if it's just something in the Neo World program, that doesn't really mean much for the lore. I'm still excited to actually get to play a Danganronpa game blind for the first time. And no, S doesn't count. S is utter shit.